What's up everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. Now this has been kind of a long time coming, not only because everyone's been suggesting it, but I've wanted to do this scenario for a while myself. I'm sure many of you already know who SHALLOT is because you've played Dragon Ball Legends, but if you don't, he's the main character of a mobile game called Dragon Ball Legends. Like I just said, he's an ancient Saiyan, and he's part of a pretty fun story that involves a lot of time travel nonsense. Today, we'll be looking at a scenario where he's canon, or at least part of the one canon continuities. I'll explain in detail in a bit. For this video, let's set a like goal of 4,000 likes. If we hit that, I'll continue with another part of the series. Anyways, let's begin the scenario. So, this isn't just going to be me plopping SHALLOT into the main story without anything else. Now, if you've played Dragon Ball Legends, you would know there's a lot of time nonsense with it. People from multiple different timelines are thrown into one timeline. And I won't spoil anything about the game right now, but someone threw all those timelines together so they can get enough power for something. In the simplest terms. This was called the Tournament of Time, and it gives us a bunch of potential. There's so many random timelines in Dragon Ball, and even Heroes explores the same idea, giving us pretty much hundreds of different instances of Goku and other characters. So in this scenario, we're going to create our own timeline, one that was originally supposed to go like normal, but had a few changes inspired by Dragon Ball Legends. I want to be unique with this scenario, so more will change than just having SHALLOT in the story. So yeah, if you know anything about Dragon Ball Legends' story, there may be some other plot points and characters showing up here and there, although this one will be way less chaotic than that story, so don't expect 40 Gohans running around or anything, just like in Dragon Ball Legends. Oh yeah, short self-plug, but if you like Dragon Ball Legends, or Dokkan for that matter, I've started to use my second channel, Mr. Salad, a lot more, where I upload Dokkan and Legends videos, so go check that out if you're interested. I'll link it right here above. Okay, shameless plug out of the way, let's get into the actual story now that everything's explained. An amnesic SHALLOT is sent through space and time. And this is actually an alternate SHALLOT from another timeline, just to make things simpler. In the middle of a wasteland, SHALLOT wakes up, unaware of where he is, or even who he is. He only remembers one thing. He was called the name SHALLOT, so he assumes that's who he is, but he still doesn't know who he is. He just has a name. He guesses he was in a battle of some sorts, and he looks around. He doesn't recognize this environment either. It's some sort of wasteland. It doesn't seem like he could see anyone or anything for miles, but the ground below him starts rumbling, and he then hears a deep roar. He looks behind him, and rushing towards him is a dinosaur? What the hell? It looks like it's ready to eat him, and SHALLOT's not gonna run. Not knowing what else to do, he jumps up and punches it square in the jaw, knocking it flat on its back. Okay, that wasn't so bad, but it's still terrifying. He's surrounded by dinosaurs and other giant creatures? Well, at least he has some sort of food now. But then his keen sense of smell kicks in. He hears light footsteps nearby and smells someone coming closer to him. He barely dodges in time as a sword slices past his face. Great, another threat already? He doesn't even know where he is. He tries to fend off the fighter and he's still a bit wary, but he does outspeed this fighter. Although, this person he's facing is no joke. He can't see him because he's moving so fast, and all he sees is the sword slicing nearby. And then he realizes, this fighter is pretty small. The small fighter then shouts out someone's name and steps back from SHALLOT with his sword drawn. SHALLOT gets a good look at him. It's a kid. Why is there a kid out in the wilderness with a sword? And then someone else appears nearby, a tall green man with a cape. They're discussing amongst themselves, with the child visibly shaking, and the green man looking taken aback. They realize that SHALLOT is a Saiyan. They can tell easily by that tail. SHALLOT is completely confused. He doesn't know who these two are, besides knowing that green guy is named Piccolo. And Piccolo immediately begins attacking him. SHALLOT is now facing two experienced fighters, Gohan and Piccolo together. Piccolo theorizes that this must be the Saiyan sent here to avenge Raditz, although it's a bit early. He wasn't supposed to be here for another 6 months. SHALLOT is trying to fend off both of them, and here's Piccolo saying this. He doesn't know what Piccolo's talking about, and mid-fight, they stop as SHALLOT continues trying to explain, and luckily they give him a chance to actually talk a bit. He introduces himself. His name is SHALLOT, and he is a Saiyan, but he doesn't know much else. He's completely confused and he doesn't know how he even got here. Piccolo brushes this off as nonsense. Of course he knows how he got here. He tells SHALLOT to start talking immediately or he'll kill him. SHALLOT panics and says he's been telling the truth. He really doesn't know who he is, where he is, or how he even got here. But he actually has a question. Why are these guys against the Saiyans and what planet is he even on? Due to SHALLOT being a Saiyan, Piccolo doesn't trust him, but he humors him by explaining anyways. Although he's visibly confused, this guy seems like he actually doesn't know what they're talking about. The name Raditz doesn't ring a bell at all, nor does Kakarot. SHALLOT says he has no idea who those two are. He just woke up here with no idea of who he is or how he even got there. And Piccolo takes note of his ki. There's not much malice in it, if at all. If anything, Piccolo has more malice within him. And better yet, SHALLOT has no gear with him or spaceship. He He does have that armor on, but it doesn't look like anything that Raditz was wearing. Again, that might not mean anything, but still, the fact that his armor is so different from Raditz, it's a little bit weird. They've had their eyes peeled and would have noticed a spaceship, or they would have even sent Shallot out in space once he got near the atmosphere. His ki came out of nowhere, and unlike Raditz, he seems a lot more, I don't know, sporadic? Sensing all of this, eventually the rest of the group comes over trying to see what's going on, and they're just as unsure of what to think as Piccolo is. Everyone is then startled as they hear a voice in their heads. It's King Kai, and Goku too. They're glad to hear from Goku again, but King Kai begins explaining. The two Saiyans are still heading to Earth, and this guy's not one of them. King Kai has been monitoring the situation, and when he first started keeping track of it, there's only 2 space pods heading towards Earth, and they're still on course for it. He never saw this Shallot guy come out of anywhere. It's almost as if he just appeared there out of nowhere. Of course, King Kai doesn't know his identity, but it seems he's telling the truth that he's not teamed up with those other 2 Saiyans, or Raditz. Shallot says thanks to the voice in his head, hoping everyone else heard it and not just him. I mean, there's been enough weird stuff already, but hearing that voice in his head was kind of weird too. But he says he's not lying at all, and combined with what Piccolo sensed in his ki before, he might actually be telling the truth. Okay, so they believe he's not here for a malicious purpose, but he still doesn't know how he got here. With no better idea of what to do, Krillin then asks him to join the group, helping them defend against the Saiyans. Everyone reacts to this in shock, but Krillin begins explaining. They need all the help that they can get, and from what King Kai and everyone else is saying, maybe they can trust him. Of course, they don't know Shallot well enough yet. Not even Shallot knows himself well enough. But this should be a good deal between the group and him. He helps them stop the Saiyans, and they give him a place to stay, as well as them helping him find out whatever's going on here. Well, Shallot doesn't know what he just got himself into, but it seems like there's no other choice. And it sounds pretty fun, fighting other strong Saiyans. That seems to resonate with him. Alright, it seems like a deal, and the group begins training alongside Shallot. They could already tell he was pretty strong. He was able to fend off both Piccolo and Gohan at once, while still being a little bit woozy. But now he feels better and is more alert, and they come to see that he's a really strong fighter, stronger than anyone there. And this also kinda does reassure them a bit. If he did want to kill them, he would have done so by now. And it wouldn't have been that hard, but he's training alongside them and he's acting pretty friendly. Granted, they still don't fully trust him, but the reassurance is what they needed. Since Piccolo's the closest to his level, Shallot trains mostly with him, but also goes to Kami sometimes to train with the humans. And along the way, he learns a lot more about where he is. It's a planet called Earth, and apparently he's not the only Saiyan here. Well, one is dead, so he's not here right now, but he'll be back later, and that kid that attacked him before, that's a half Saiyan. And that's pretty much the root of all their problems, the fact that Goku is a Saiyan. Their training continues for a few more months, and they become a lot more trusting of Shallot. But now, there will be a true test of his loyalty and his power. The Saiyans arrive on Earth, Vegeta and Nappa. They still have to wait for Goku to come back, but with the current group, they might actually be enough to fend off the Saiyans, at least for now. The group can sense the Saiyans coming closer and closer, and Shallot can even smell them. And the smell's pretty disgusting. I mean, they've been in a space pod for a year and haven't showered. Gross. But he can even smell their destruction. He smells burning, and all other kinds of bad things as they destroy a city. And he knows these guys mean business. The two of them land in front of the group. And from what they can sense, the two Saiyans are pretty strong, but the two Saiyans actually seem pretty surprised as well. Okay, they knew about that half Saiyan there, but is that another Saiyan there too? That's not Kakarot. He has a tail though, so he definitely is a Saiyan, right? This just gives Vegeta and Nappa so many questions. For one, Shallot's armor, it looks ancient. It's not like theirs in any way. Why is he wearing ancient armor? And also, how did he even get here and why? Is he a Saiyan defector that's been living here forever? Or is he like Kakarot somehow? They ask him, and Shallot says he wishes he had an answer. But since the Earthlings and the Namekian were hospitable enough to help him, he's allied with them now. He's spent a few months with them so far, growing stronger alongside them and getting to know them better. He hasn't made any progress in figuring out who he is or how he got here, but at least he's made a couple of friends along the way. And any worry about who Shallot is gets wiped away when they see Vegeta's reaction. It's very genuine. Vegeta's just completely confused about Shallot. It just confirms everything. He's not actually here working with them. He's not going to betray them in any way. And now is the true test of loyalty, as the Saiyans send out some Cybermen. And with Yamcha being Yamcha, he's probably still going to die trying to show off against them, while the rest of the group has a pretty easy time killing them. Okay, this is a pretty bad start. Yamcha already died, which only serves to anger the group, but they don't want it to cloud their judgment. From what they could tell, it seems that the shorter one is stronger. The tall Saiyan, he's actually the weaker of the two. And maybe, if they team up just in the right way, they might be able to take him down. Krillin starts off by flinging a Kienzan at him, and Nappa's ready to take a direct hit, but ducks out of the way in the nick of time when Vegeta yells at him. It would have been nice if that killed him, but this works as a nice distraction. When Nappa dodges it, Piccolo and Shallot lunge towards him. These two are the strongest, and combined, they might actually be able to beat Nappa. So in terms of power, Piccolo is a bit stronger here as he did train alongside Shallot, which was good because all of his time wasn't spent trying to teach Gohan. He spent some of his free time actually getting stronger himself. We'll put Shallot at a power of about 6,500, while Piccolo's at 4,000, and the rest of the group is relatively the same, if not a little bit stronger. And when you think about it, even Shallot alone might be able to take on Nappa, but with the two of them together, it helps conserve their energy and makes it a surefire victory. Nappa would have never expected a Namekian to be this strong, not to mention the Saiyan here, he's really powerful too. He reads their power levels and he's amazed. He doesn't even believe them at first, but with them fighting, they prove that strength. Together, Shallot and Piccolo knock Nappa out, overwhelming him to the point of unconsciousness. Vegeta's a bit annoyed by this. Not only did they defeat Nappa, but Nappa was too weak to even take them on. It's two bad things in one. Vegeta prepares to kill Nappa for being useless, but Shallot stops him, surprising the others. Not only were they surprised to see Vegeta even trying to kill Nappa, but the fact that Shallot stopped him, and Shallot asked Vegeta, why would he kill his own ally? Vegeta says he's useless. He has no need for a weak Saiyan like that. And this really shows Shallot the brutality of these Saiyans. Thankfully, Nappa wasn't awake to hear this whole conversation. And now, Shallot and Vegeta begin fighting. The others join in too, trying to help him. But unlike Nappa, even with this combined power, it seems like they might not have enough power to defeat Vegeta. Enraged, Gohan sees one of his rage boosts, and begins attacking Vegeta with all his might. This actually does surprise Vegeta, but it only catches him off guard for a brief moment, and Gohan's rage boost is fleeting. By the time it disappears, Vegeta's ready to attack him, and Gohan is left completely open to the attack. Shallot tries to run over to help him get out of the way, but it's already too late, and the blast makes impact. And by the time it dissipates, he sees that Piccolo's standing there, having defended Gohan. Thankfully, Gohan's okay, but with this attack, Piccolo's dead. Not only does this enrage Gohan further, but it makes Shallot enraged too. And blindly, the two of them jump back into combat, fighting Vegeta together. And this power is even greater than before. Vegeta is barely able to defend against it. Together, Gohan launches a Masenko, and Shallot launches a Wild Cannon. The two hit Vegeta head on, dealing some significant damage, but the injuries aren't enough to put Vegeta out of the fight. It only beats up his armor a bit and makes Vegeta even angrier than before. The rest of the fighters watch on amazed, ready to back Shallot and Gohan up too. Shallot shouts as he jumps back into battle, with Vegeta shouting too. And right before the two of them clash, a red flash of light appears. Vegeta then feels an impact on his side as he's sent skidding across the ground. Angrily, he looks up, trying to read what's going on with his scouter. And through the cracks in the glass of it, he could see a familiar figure, alongside with a reading above 8,000. He takes the scouter off and flings it to his side, seeing clearly now. It's Kakarot. Goku has arrived on the field and is ready to assist everyone. Shallot introduces himself, and Goku says he knows who he is. He was that voice in his head before, or at least one of them, and he's glad that Shallot's on their side. But Goku's also pretty angered himself. Not only did they lose Yamcha, but they lost Piccolo too. Although, this is already better than the original Saiyan saga, because Tenshinhan and Chaozu are still alive. But the fact that Yamcha and Piccolo are dead, that's enough to sadden Goku and also piss him off. He tells everyone not to worry. With his new techniques from King Kai, they'll be able to defeat Vegeta. Shallot says he's ready, and he assumes a fighting stance, with Goku also assuming one as well. Goku's never fought alongside this guy, so it might be a bit hard to coordinate, but they'll find a way. The rest of the group steps up as well, ready to take on Vegeta. But Vegeta grins. He cocks his hand back, charging a ball of energy in it. Quickly, he flings it up into the sky as an artificial moon appears. This might be a risky strategy. Vegeta knows that Shallot will transform too, and possibly that kid since he has a title. But with Vegeta transforming as a great ape, he'll not only have more control than them, but the gap in power will probably be too big for them to handle. Vegeta begins transforming, and Goku tells Gohan to not look up in the sky. Shallot watches on in amazement. This form seems familiar to him somehow. Maybe, just maybe, if he uses it too, he might be able to help in the fight. Shallot willingly looks up at the moon, hoping that things go well and that he can actually take control of this form. The rest of the group looks at him like he's crazy, but Goku thinks he might have a good idea. Maybe Shallot knows how to control this power, and as Vegeta transforms, Shallot begins transforming as well into a great ape. And with that, we'll leave off here for now. So, what did you guys think about this part, and what do you think is going to happen next time? Leave your thoughts and suggestions in the comments below. I'll be sure to check them out to see what you guys think. As always, if you liked the video, be sure to drop a like, and let's try to hit that like goal from the beginning of the video so we can get another part of this series. If you haven't already, why not subscribe, as well as hitting the bell icon to get notified about any future parts of this What If, or any other videos that I upload on my channel. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.